Yo, welcome back to Just Kicking It. I go by Polo Show, and I'm with the homie
Soy.
And we're here to just talk about everything that happens in the world of hip-hop every week. So before we get started, we are artists first. I go by the name of Polo Show. You can find my music on all streaming platforms. I just dropped my debut studio album, Determination. And what about you, Soy?
I go by Soy, and you can find my project. Just look up On the Search for More, and then go to my profile and follow whatever streaming service you use. That would be super awesome.
So yeah, this podcast is called Just Kicking It. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening on whatever podcast platform you listen to your podcast on, make sure to give us 5 stars and to follow us so you're aware of new episodes. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, and share if you're fucking with the episode. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I should mention, we're actually shooting from a new location. This is the first time me and Soy have recorded this podcast in person. So you want to tell them where we are?
We are at our studio, Solace Studio. Pretty cool. This couch, pretty nice. It's actually very comfortable. It was in my place for like a while, and I was definitely using it, and I'm sad it's gone. But now it's here, and now we're here, and yeah. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. Word. This is just dope to be shooting, live on set. So let's get right into it. So in the first news, artists re-recording music. So Taylor Swift recently re-released a re-recording of her album Fearless. So basically the album was re-recorded and re-released, and the album went to number 1. So why did Taylor Swift re-record and re-release this album? So I think like last year, Scooter Braun, who's like apparently her manager or whatever, like famously sold all her masters or whatever, like to Universal or something for like $300 million, something like that. And just without her knowing or without her having much control over it. So she really got fucked over. Her masters got sold. And this is really her plan to regain those masters, is re-record all the songs, because now she'll have these masters and like put it out. And obviously she's Taylor Swift, so it went number 1 again. So I guess we're just bringing that up because that's kind of like, I remember when we talked about it when like, Scooter Braun fucked her over, like, yo, sorry, that was it.
Now my money.
But like, here she is now, man. So what do you have to say about this?
I actually think it's pretty cool. I haven't listened to it. I don't know if is that the one with like love story and shit?
I don't, you've heard Fearless.
Dude, I haven't.
Why are you tripping?
Maybe I have. I don't know.
You're like, is that the one with Love Story? Bro.
That's a great song, man. But I think it's actually a really good album from what I remember. So maybe I'll listen to it. I'm interested to actually hear the vocals, because like if she did like different stuff to like the songs, or like if she...
Honestly, yeah, I'll be curious to know that. But I would imagine that if fans really love that album, she probably didn't change much.
Probably
not.
What
I mean, like maybe they use different mics or whatever, so there's those little nuances.
She just sounds older. She's old as fuck now. How old is it, Taylor Swift? Like 30?
Probably. I don't know, man. I feel like when you're like a Taylor Swift and you're always performing those songs, she's always on world tours. She's always, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? She probably sounds better singing those songs now. You know what I mean? Because she sang them so many times.
She's got a great voice.
Word.
But I think that's pretty cool, dude. I think it's great for her to like... I like that she has the opportunity to actually do this, and it's just like a good reinforcement for artists to just realize like, hey, it's probably better to just be independent, especially nowadays. And if you're like a Taylor Swift, you really don't need a record label, like a Drake or like all these like big pop stars. They do at first, but like eventually they get to a place where it's like, well, it's not even necessary.
Word. And I think in Taylor's situation, it's almost like maybe the contract didn't let her get out when it was time to get out. I think that's what it was, and that's why she ended up getting fucked. But I think this is a good story because it's like she definitely got fucked, and this is her like, reclaiming that, getting unfucked. You know what I mean? Like, I think like they sold definitely multiple of her albums, so she's gonna have to do this a couple more times with all those other albums.
Still number 1.
Yeah, her fan base is ready. I'm confident. I'm sure she is as well, that like every time she re-records one of these albums and puts them out, the fan base will put it to number 1.
Yeah, which is actually really cool. I don't know if that's happened before. It probably has. Like we're an artist. Is that her first album? I don't even know.
I don't know, man. Fearless. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. But that's an important album. All our albums are good, though.
Yeah, they are.
So on to our next topic here. Most anticipated albums of 2021. And I guess we're talking about in the world of hip-hop. So I think the Holy Trinity, that's really what we're waiting for. Yeah. You know, Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. Mm-hmm. We're waiting, like they're all supposed to drop albums this year. I think Cole was supposed to drop an album last year, The Fall Off, right? That was supposed to come out last year. He was supposed to drop a mixtape, you know, so Cole's definitely been on his like, now you see me, now you don't shit, you know? So I don't know. I definitely feel like this is like a rare moment, like where all these guys, like when their careers started off, they were all like, it was normal for us to get a project from them in the same year.
Yeah.
But as they like started growing and, you know, their schedules like shifted, you know, Kendrick does the fucking caveman shit. We don't see him for years.
Yeah.
J. Cole says we're gonna see him and then we don't see him. You know, Drake is probably the most reliable person as far as...
He's gonna give you some B-sides.
But yeah, that's it, and that's his thing as well. He's definitely gonna throw out some B-sides.
He's like, here's some fucking songs, fuck it. I don't know. Who are you most... If you had to choose one album, you're like, okay, you can only hear one of the artists of those three. Who do you want to hear from the most?
Probably Drake, man. Like, Drake is still
really?
Probably my favorite artist. Probably still. When I think about it, it just doesn't release, like he has not released an album in a while. I don't count Dark Lane's demo as an album. I'm sure he doesn't as well. But yeah, I feel like that's you know, I feel like that's the rest of hip hop as well. You know, everyone might hate, but like when hip hop, when Drake drops, you know, your wifey is pressing play, your auntie is pressing, you know what I mean? Like that's the vibe, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how I feel, you know. Obviously when Kendrick drops and when J. Cole drops, I'm gonna eat that shit up and I'm gonna sit with that shit and I'm gonna really like,
what's the deeper meaning?
Yeah, that's the music that's gonna be with me for a long time. I feel like excitement is definitely Drake, you know, but as far as like, I'm excited for both of them, but I would just say like for all of them, but I would just say like, definitely I feel like I'm going to get the more out of, for myself, I'm gonna get the most out of Drake's music. Like when he drops, I'll probably listen. If they all drop today, I'll probably be listening to Drake.
Damn.
More. But that being said, if they all drop today and everybody else in the music industry drop today, I'm only listening to those three guys. You know what I mean? Like this, and fuck everything else. Like,
yeah, I think I definitely want to hear what Kendrick's album's gonna sound like. Because every time he comes out with an album, it's like a different sound, and it actually does like. I think the only one that didn't really dictate music was To Pimp a Butterfly. I think just because it was such a niche as far as production. But like Damn came out and I felt like a lot of albums sounded very similar, at least from what I remember. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Kendrick. Obviously, Cole's my favorite rapper, so I would like a mixtape actually. I think a mixtape would be really cool. I didn't know he was going to release a mixtape, so.
He said the off season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the off season was supposed to come and he dropped like an Uchiwali like freestyle. It was nice, like.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was like.
There was one bar in there I hated where he's like, I'm good at math like I'm Asian. Sorry for the stereotypes. I'm like, what the fuck? Why did he say that?
Fuck. J. Cole. Like,
just no reason.
Yeah, he does shit like that.
And he apologized for the bar right after. I'm like, why did he even put the bar in? I don't know. I'm also looking forward to like, I would like a Griselda project.
Right.
Because that was probably of 2019, that was probably my favorite project that year, the Griselda one. I just want to hear them together, all rapping together. They just complement each other so well. I wouldn't mind. I'd like to hear another album from Chance the Rapper. I think he's been putting out some material recently that's actually been like really sick, where he's like rapping really well. So I'd like to just hear him rap.
I don't know what the situation is with Chance because I feel like Chance's last album was not a good album.
No.
And I feel like the proper way to have combated that as someone in Chance's position is to just put out a better album like right after. You know what I mean? He's independent. He's got the team.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, and I know he definitely heard the critique, so he knows how to make the better album. I just feel like the last time we talked about Chance, like as one of our topics in detail was like when his manager, right, was like suing him for basically the poor performance of the last album.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we didn't really know what exactly happened with that, but I feel like there's something behind the scenes that's stopping Chance from like dropping music like that. Like that's what we're seeing. So I hope he sorts out all that shit. Cause like I said at the time, like I know Chance's manager from just a lot of like music industry game, like just watching his interviews, like the books like he was reading and whatnot. So I know like his manager is official, you know what I mean? His manager was like, I remember watching an interview with his manager and he was like, yeah, one day Chance told me he just wanted to meet Kanye and he was like, yeah, I'll make it happen. And I was like, yo, that was the kind of people you need to have around you know what I mean? Like this manager who literally just dropped out of school to come and be Chance the Rapper's manager. He didn't know Kanye, but he's like, yo, I'll make it happen. And then, you know what I mean? But so I feel like the manager that dude was definitely instrumental to the Chance the Rapper we know today.
Absolutely.
So I feel like there's more to why we're not getting music from Chance. It's not just that the last album sucked. There's more to it, and I feel like he needs to sort out all that behind the scenes, you know, back end stuff properly to actually come out shining again. Is how I see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. I think honestly, I think when it dropped and I remember him going on The Breakfast Club and just being like people don't really sometimes when albums drop, people hate on it, even though it's like some like new stuff, like they hate on the new. So he was convinced in his mind that his album was like awesome, which I'm sure he thought it was. And I think there's some songs on there that are like really good.
Yeah.
But it was just too long. They had like 24 tracks. Like, what are you doing? And like a lot of them were like, why?
Yeah. I remember telling you like before that album dropped, I'm like, yo, Chance is like just the way he came into the game. You know what I mean? Like this guy is in the position to drop a classic debut album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, just dropped the ball, just fumbled. Like big time. You know what I mean? And then when we heard the manager is like trying to sue you because the album was whack.
It's a bad look.
That's like damn. Oh, it was not specifically in those terms. It was like you just felt like the rollout could have been better. Like he'd recently like gotten married and he was just trying to put out the album.
Right.
So the manager was like, yo, there needs to be time. So yeah. I would like a better Chance the Rapper album if that's happening this year. So I just feel like to get that, he needs to sort out all that other shit.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, are there any other artists? So we've talked about Drake, Kendrick, Cole, Griselda,
Kanye.
Yeah. Obviously, we want that Donda album. I think that's what it is.
I want to hear him sad. I really want to hear just some music to like help him heal.
I want to hear that post Kim Kardashian breakup music. You know what I mean? I want to know. Yeah, that's gonna be the best vibe because I feel like he still loves her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's gonna be like, it's not just gonna be like, you know, Kim. You know, it's not just gonna be like fuck her type music. It's gonna be good music. You know what I mean? But it's actually like, you know, I've come to terms with where we're at.
Yeah.
And I want to hear that from Kanye because from the jump, I felt like he should never have married that, you know, that lady.
Yeah.
Here we are. Yeah,
4 kids.
I think he just needs to find himself. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm happy for him. Like, I'm happy that he got, like, because I'm sure that was a thing, right? Like, he was trying to have kids. He was trying to have kids with a woman that he loved.
Right.
And he did all that, right? And so I feel like that's part of it. You know, now it's time to get back to the grind, you know?
You think he'll be like a gospel album?
I just feel like he's kind of been dabbling like, nah, man. I just feel like Kanye is usually that dude that like can come into hip hop or come in with an idea and like everyone's gonna be like, all right, this is what we're doing now. But I just feel like that idea didn't take with like, yo, I'm not gonna swear anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, just even like when he was doing remixes of some of those gospel songs, like with DaBaby and 2 Chainz, they were like swearing and talking about selling dope, you know? So like, I was like, I don't know how you're gonna get other hip hop artists in the studio. And you're like, so yeah, you can do whatever you want. Just don't swear. Explicit lyrics. Yeah, get the fuck
I saw an interview where Conway, the Machine from Griselda, said that he wrote for Kanye for like, and he had to write in a space where he couldn't curse. And he was like, he had to write like a gospel artist. I don't know what that sounds like.
Yeah.
A brick for God.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's the one thing I would say. I feel like it's just a part of hip hop. Not this, not to even like make hip hop seem like dirty or whatever. But hip hop is expressive, right? Like hip hop is, it shouldn't have this like, if it's supposed to be unfiltered expression, it shouldn't have this, you can say everything except these library of bad words, you know what I mean?
Right.
I just feel like that just didn't take. And I feel like if it's gonna keep pushing that lane, like you're falling further and further away from hip hop.
Right.
That's why I can't bump. Like, it's just like, yo, throw some shit about some titties in there. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, what was fucking Hell in a Dress? Like, yo, I had a dream. I fell in love with a porn star. You know what I mean? Like, that's the fucking shit that I want to hear. Like,
yo, that's the blasphemous Kanye.
I don't want to hear this fucking all this.
He's saved.
Whack shit. It's not whack, but it's like, come on, man. I'm not.
I just listened to I'm In It off Yeezus.
Yeah.
He's like, your titties free at last, like that song.
Yeah.
That was a really, that song is really.
That's right, I'm in it. But yeah, the music is expressive, you know what I mean? I just feel like that's really what I get. Obviously, Jesus is King is really beautiful music as well, but I just feel like it's restraint. You can hear the restraint of the artist, you know what I mean? This music could be so much more expressive, where you put yourself in this box of, I'm only doing gospel, I'm only doing God music. There's hella people of other religions / atheists that fuck with hip hop, that fuck with Kanye. And you putting yourself in this box, you're trying to like impose your religion type thing.
Right.
So I want an album from Kanye for sure. And if it's gonna be a fucking secular album or, you know what I mean, censored album, then so be it. But all I'm saying is I would rather it wasn't a fucking one of those fucking albums. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
Who else am I missing? RTJ dropped one of the better albums that I've heard.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like in the past while. So I would want another Run the Jewels album as well this year. But yeah, right off the top, those are the ones that are
the big guys
that I'm anticipating for sure. And I know we're gonna get them. I know we're gonna get the Drake album. You know what I mean? They've put too much time into like every haircut we see with Drake. He has that fucking heart in his head.
He's got to shave that out.
He's committed. So I know that album's coming this year. And he's not planning to just do that haircut all year. Be like, yo, 2022. So at least we know Drake is coming.
Yeah.
Kendrick and Cole, they're like ghosts, right? But like whenever they pop their head up and say they're ready, we'll be equally as excited.
Yeah.
So definitely it's looking like a good year for 2021 hip hop albums.
Yeah.
On to our next topic here. Her, the recent R&B sensation, just released a song called Come Through featuring Chris Brown, obviously another R&B legend. So how do you feel about this, Soy? You're the R&B guy. How, we just listened to this record before the podcast. What are the vibes you got from it?
I've definitely heard this topic talked about many times. It didn't really usually when I hear these kind of songs, especially I've heard songs I'm pretty certain with Chris Brown. Is this the first, or I'm thinking of another R&B girl that he's done a song with, regardless.
Yeah, he's done it with all of them.
I think it was on his album, or who was that? Anyways, I've heard this type of song before, and I've heard it done in a better way. I honestly, I was pretty, just listening to it, I was like, this is, it's a good song. It's not terrible, but it's not, I don't know if I'm going to return to it. And Chris Brown's part was really short. I kind of was hoping for more there. It was just a really chill song. It didn't, and the beat was, kind of sounded like modern R&B. I kind of know her for someone that's very experimental, and at least when I listen to her songs, they're very unique. And this just kind of sounded like of the norm, so I think that's kind of why I was a little off put by it. But I mean, they're both so talented and they're both such good singers that it's hard to be you can't really critique the actual performances, because I mean you can, but in my mind they're such good vocalists. It's hard to be oh, the song was trash, because it really wasn't. It was just It was just basic to me, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really, I thought it was really unique. I thought, yeah, I thought it was unique in the sense that I don't listen to a lot of hers music.
Yeah.
But it was nice to hear like a ballad like that type of thing. You know, like Chris Brown comes in, they were both kind of on the same vibe, you know, come through. But that being said, right, that whole theme, definitely heard that before. And it definitely just seemed like, you know, I threw it on, I'm like, yeah, I definitely have, like you said, it seemed kind of manufactured. It almost seemed like, you know, whoever the executives are at their individual labels were like, her, you need a fucking record with Chris Brown.
Here's
Don't
a
worry
catchy
about it, we'll
hook.
figure it out. Yeah. Here's the record, here's everything. Like, yo, Chris Brown already, like, we'll send it to him. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like the executives, like, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
You don't have to think, just come to the studio and record the vocals. Yeah, it felt like, it felt manufactured. That being said, it's still a good song. You know, if it was thrown in a playlist of similar vibe songs and it came up, people would still vibe, right? So
Yeah.
it's still, I'm sure it's gonna work well as a single, right? And yeah, it's dope. It's a good look for her. Like she's increasing her, what is it? She's becoming a bigger artist. That's what this is, right?
Right.
Getting this Chris Brown feature. And obviously Chris Brown is obviously tapping into this demographic of younger R&B listeners. So I see no L from this record. It's obviously doing numbers. You know what I mean? It's obviously gonna be a decent record in her catalog. So yeah. We probably could have gotten more from this feature. I definitely, when I saw the names, her and Chris Brown, I expected more for sure.
I was like, damn, this could be crazy.
Yeah, and I'm sure they probably have more if this is just the first in the vault. I'm sure they got more coming, I hope. So yeah, another topic we got here. Drake, Jeff Bezos invest in sports media startup Overtime. So yeah, I was just reading about this before the podcast. So Overtime is a Brooklyn-based media company, and what they're doing is they're kind of making like short clips of, what is it, like basketball athletes like in high school. And
Is it football?
No, it's basketball.
Okay.
But yeah, basketball athletes in high school, and it's kind of just trying to turn, you know how like college football is a thing?
Yeah.
And there's an industry around that, people watching college football and, you know, investments, they're trying to make that a thing for high school. Because there is talent, you know what I mean? And if they can start spotting these talents through an app or whatever, then it's just gonna, you know, they're gonna be able to handpick, you know, better players for the NBA, and it's just gonna be brighter futures for these kids, right? This is based in Brooklyn, right? So I think it's an innovative thing.
Yep.
What was I just gonna add to this? That I saw, Jeff Bezos and Drake are part of the second round of investments, right? We saw in the article that it was, and I don't know if I'm reading this wrong, but it was like people are gonna be getting paid out $100K, right? That was
Something like that.
Something like that. Let me find it so I'm not misquoting this. But yeah, people are gonna get paid out like $100K.
The high school kids?
You're like, yo, I need to go to that high school.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you sign up for high school league? I would get destroyed. I suck at football.
let's see. Overtime is a Brooklyn-based startup company geared towards creating short content highlighting high school basketball stars. The recent capital will be used towards expanding the platform and their operations, including their high school basketball league Overtime Elite later this year. The high school league will guarantee salaries to all its players of at least $100K a year and increasing their 125-person staff with an additional 80 employees. Let me read that again. The high school league will guarantee salaries to all its players of at least $100K a year.
Are you serious?
So I think we read that right. And increasing their 125-person staff with an additional 80 employees. So this round of investments was ended up being raised $80 million in total. So the money is definitely there, but I don't know if we're reading this wrong. So you're a star athlete, so you can imagine like a young LeBron just fucking wiping everyone's ass in school, and then fucking Drake comes through with this app and yo, you're just killing it on the app, so you're making $100K a year now as a high school student.
Yeah, imagine being a teacher and hearing this news. What the fuck are the students going to say to the teacher? Like, I have to go to my football practice. And he's like, your grades are low. It's like, I make $100K a year more than you. You're a teacher. You teach me knowledge, but the money that Jeff Bezos has is going towards football
like what?
instead of teachers.
I think this was the one where we're seeing all the comments are kind of negative, right? And
I feel them.
and part of it was they're saying like Overtime is planning to launch trading cards, sports betting for young fans with the new funding.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, so
This sounds like they just...
it's basically you have this app. You're basically like a high school kid, and you'll have
like a
this
16-year-old on a card?
Yeah, and
that's
it's like,
weird.
Yo, like young LeBron is killing it this league or whatever this period, and then
Yeah.
there's a final match or whatever. So everyone in the school, all the little kids are like betting their lunch money on on LeBron.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah.
That seems like a waste of funds. Because don't they have the opportunity to like... Why is this what they're doing, though? Why are they investing in, like... Why wouldn't they invest in, like, things that matter?
All I know for a fact is that if Jeff Bezos is doing this,
It's dirty.
and then it's making money. You know what I mean? Like Jeff Bezos is not in the business of let's give them some money and let's see if this works out. Now he knows they know enough, and it was not Jeff Bezos specifically. It's like his investment company, right? So they know enough to be like, this thing we're putting money into is giving us money back. You know, we're getting returns on this, and I'm sure that's what Drake's team saw that as well. Like, yo, Jeff Bezos is over there sprinkling money on that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking sign me up. So. Yeah, it started out as a good thing, but we're not sure. I have a feeling we're misreading this because what is the incentive to graduate from high school then if you're playing basketball and making $100K? like, yo, I'm not going to class, man. I'm training all day.
Yeah.
That's fucking a better use of my time.
It's literally a waste of time to go to class.
I'm at the gym all day. Like, fucking, I'll go to school in the morning, and then, we probably have the first class, like math. I'm in the fucking gym, like, doing my shots until it's time.
Yeah, I feel like this is just the funds. It doesn't make that can't. I don't know. That does sound like ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely sounds ridiculous. But
nowadays, that.
Yeah, again, nowadays it's like it's almost the way I'm seeing it is like high school basketball stars. So when I think of that term, I think of like a young LeBron. You know what I mean? And
right.
So if this is an app or a media, some kind of Silicon Valley company that is trying to exploit on, the young talent, that's really what this is, like trying to get them on clips, trying to get them in viral videos, other people are investing. If that's what this is, then I guess that's a good thing because then these guys would get found sooner, but then it's kind of like dirty in a way.
But why do they need a salary?
Yeah, that's a good question, bro. That's a good question, bro. I don't know. Maybe they're reporting this wrong, but
I don't know, dude.
We'll probably touch base on this soon. We'll probably hear about this company soon. Overtime is the name of the company.
He really doesn't give a shit about his employees, Jeff Bezos. He's like, fuck it. I'm going to invest in this high school shit. Fuck you guys. Pack my boxes. 9 seconds or you're lashed. I don't know how it works there.
Crazy.
Do they have whips? Most likely.
Megan Thee Stallion is taking a break from her career. It's our last global topic.
I'm just kidding. I'm good.
Yeah, I was gonna join you in clap, but it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like she's had a hard like last year, man. Like with all this like the Tory bullshit.
Oh, so hard.
Everyone like saying like, yo, like and I feel like for all the Tory bullshit, and then there was like she put in all this work. She dropped an album. I don't know how I felt about that album, the Good News album.
Was it good? No.
But all that other stuff, and then she kind of got a lot of like accolades.
Yeah.
And people just, it was.
She won a Grammy.
Right. People just kept saying it was like, she got that sympathy from the Tory thing, right? Like she was getting this, and obviously the Grammy thing was Beyonce was on that song. It just kind of feels like the game is always, and everyone's calling her a man. Most of the time, like in the Tory thing, yeah, that's how people are. It's usually Tory fans, but that's how people are fucking dealing with it. But
his fans have to be the most toxic fans now because if you stuck around,
yeah,
you're like fuck it, shoot her again.
Oh fuck, no. But yeah, that's really what I just feel like when I look at her career, I kind of like she's killing it. You know what I mean? She's definitely the, there's Nicki Cardi, and I would say Meg is the next up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So she's definitely in that position, but I just feel like the game doesn't give her those props. You know what I mean? She fucking got shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like, yo, walk it off, bitch. Like that's the game.
She
right now.
literally twerked it off. She just went. She went from getting shot to doing the WAP video.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, that did happen.
How did her foot heal so fast?
Yeah, man.
What medicines?
I don't know, but see, is this kind of this is the shit. Obviously, we have these speculations, but it's kind of like if any other women in our lives got shot in the foot, we're not gonna be asking these questions. You know what I mean? Why we're not gonna be like, yo, you need to be on bed rest for at least 2 months. You can't be out twerking,
Dude, I snapped my foot and I broke my foot and I couldn't walk for like. I had to be like I couldn't do a job for like maybe 4 or 5 months, and I broke like 3 bones. I didn't get shot.
Yeah, man. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you. But
I need the medicine.
This is the issue I'm telling you, though. This is what I'm saying. It's like
No sympathy.
There's no sympathy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're in this like you're in the spotlight every day, right? Like for every like 100 comments she gets that one comment where it's like, you're a lying bitch. You probably shot yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? And that gets to her like
Polo show. No, I'm just kidding.
they're probably there. It's probably Tori with a burner account.
Yeah.
No, but I just feel like this is what I'm saying. She has had the last year for her has been like pretty hard in the industry. Like, for someone who is,
It'd be tough.
for someone who is winning, in the terms of the female rap crown or whatever, she is the dominant person. The game does not give her that respect. You know what I mean? And so I feel like this is just coming there. We did find out she lost her mother like in the past like year or two.
Yep.
She's been dealing with a lot of stuff,
Sucks.
and so it's kind of like I can just see, you know what I mean? It's there's all this other background stuff that you're dealing with in your personal life, and then the world just sees you as Meg Thee Stallion, you know what I mean? So they're like, you can take these blows we're giving at you.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, she's just a girl too, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. Life is tough, man, that way where it's like a lot of times when like really bad things start happening, you start like receiving like she got a Grammy, she has like a few #1 songs. I mean, that sounds like a unfortunate balance, but I feel like that is life,
You're like, yeah, Grammys, shot in the foot.
Yeah, which one you want?
It's the balance of life, you know what I mean? You can't.
You gotta
You
have
want
one.
2 Grammys? You know what you gotta do.
Yeah, give me that foot. Give me the other foot.
I think it's deserved. I think, obviously, I don't think it's like,
The Grammy?
no, I mean, Megan Thee Stallion going on a break.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the shooting. I was like, damn, bro.
No, I think she deserves to go on this break. I think
everyone should take a break off social media sometimes.
I think the game would appreciate her if she was to leave for a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like completely black out, like to sit our management, we controlling the social media, but we don't see Megan Thee Stallion from a year. And then she comes back on some music shit, comes back with a single, comes back with a video, comes back with a fire album. You know what I mean? Then it will reset our eyes and be like, no, this is Megan Thee Stallion, the musician. Because there's just too much bullshit associated with her right now. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. And she's just trying to like get away from that, I feel. So I do understand this, her taking a break.
Time heals all wounds.
Yeah. So that concludes our global. On to our national.
All right. For our national, we have the George Floyd case. Derek Chauvin. He got convicted on all charges, which is kind of weird because, like, isn't one of, like, I don't actually know the 3 charges. Do you know? Because there's 3. There's, like, manslaughter, which he got, and then the other one's, like, accidental.
Yeah, I don't know what they all are.
So
but
how is that possible?
He's going to jail for murder. That's all I know.
Which is good. He should definitely do that.
That's what I know. But yeah, I don't know, man. The justice system is so weird because it's like, I don't know. It seems like we should celebrate this, but it's like the man is still dead. George Floyd is still dead. I'm glad we got this verdict, but it's almost sick that this is something that we should celebrate because we're only celebrating this because there was a chance that this could have gone to court and that guy would have gone off not guilty. You know what I mean?
Which is crazy.
And that's why this is a celebration. This should just be the norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should have known from when this happened that this guy's going to jail. But it's like it took all this time.
You murdered him. So
and there's still 3 other officers that have to undergo trial as well. There were 3 of them.
Just standing there. Yeah.
They joined to help. Like the one guy put his knee on his neck, but all of them helped pin him down. So they're part of the murder. But yeah, it just that's what's crazy to me is that it's a possibility for it to have gone the other way.
Right.
And they'd be like, yeah, the jury was just not sure, you know what I mean? Like all the evidence was there, but it looked like George Floyd was resisting arrest, you know what I mean? And so that could have been a thing as well. And obviously there would be uprising and whatnot. I honestly kind of feel like that was the case. The judge is like, yo,
I don't want to riot.
Yeah, the judge was like, that's exactly what it was. Like, yo,
I think everyone was feeling that.
Yeah, like
please don't do this because
exactly.
I don't want to see shit burn.
I'm sure like they got it like that's because like the Biden and Kamala Harris like did a speech after the verdict. So I'm sure literally that's what it came down to is like there was a call from the upright. It's like, yo, you know how this needs to go. You know what I mean? Like you don't have a choice. You know, like, I'm sure that judge like every day of the week like files get dropped on his desk. And he just like looks at it as like, oh, a white police officer, a black man. Wait, I'm not showing up to this court. Just not guilty.
Not guilty. That's fucked up.
You know what I mean? That's definitely how. That's why we're celebrating. It's like, oh, they did it for us. Yo, justice for George Floyd. But it's like.
Well, hopefully it kind of like inspires.
And that's what I'm saying. I hope that this becomes the norm. You know, this becomes.
I think it will.
That if another black man was to die at the hands of a white officer, God forbid. Under similar circumstances, we don't need to wait a year of trial to know that, yo, this guy's getting fucked. You know what I mean? Like everyone can reference, yo, this is kind of like what happened to George Floyd. You got, you're good. You know what I mean? Almost like in similar situations prior to this, we've had the officer resigns for a bit and then comes back to his job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just feel like this was so public that was initially the thing. They resigned, and then they had to like fire them.
Yeah.
And then after they got fired, then now it's all, but you know what I mean? That's just how prior to this, this George Floyd incident is such a big deal because someone got it on camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if this thing had happened and it was not on camera,
it'd be going differently.
It'd be a completely different thing. You know what I mean? That jury would have to have been like, yo, I need to see it. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like that's how a jury works. There's 12 people in the room. You all have to come to a unanimous decision.
Yeah.
I'm sure anytime there was some racist fuck being like, I don't know, man, that Chauvin guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's doing his job, he's a good guy, Someone just play the video again. It's literally 8 minutes of a guy holding his breath. And it's like, come on, bro. So yeah, I hope this, and I do feel like that's what George Floyd did. There were a lot of people who, a lot of people, and not just white people, but a lot of people just were aware of the privilege that they have, you know what I mean? A lot of people started, it started with just putting Black Lives Matter in your bio, but it went to, people were out in the streets. There was definitely a period, shortly after when all the Black Lives Matter protests were going on, where there was an understanding, even from people that were not minorities that were like, yo, this is a thing, you know what I mean? This, it was kind of like, oh, this happens all the time, but it was like that George Floyd thing because people watched that video. So it helped a lot of people see like this is a thing. So I'm just hoping that with this trial, with everything, how this is all played out now, it's been a year, that this is now like you know what I mean? We're not gonna have to do this where I'm sure that jury had to do some bouncing around, you know what I mean? If this shit was to happen again, the jury just knows like, yo, fuck that guy, he's going to jail.
Right.
I just feel like that's how this should be moving forward. So obviously, that's how I feel like George Floyd is still dead, but this is good, if this is gonna change the course of the future. Mm-hmm. It's how I feel about this.
Word. I'm kind of on the same thing. I don't know. It's good that he's going to jail. It's like you said, that should be, if you murder someone, you should go to jail, right? So It's like, no matter who it is. And it's crazy that it had to come to this, but I think moving forward, it's going to be, I would assume as like if you're like a police officer right now, you're seeing this, and you're like, oh shit, I really gotta like think about like what I'm doing. You know, like there has to be more accountability, and there is going to be more accountability after this because they can use this as a reference.
Exactly.
So yeah, hopefully, I think the big thing that, at least for me, I would just say like, just in general, like, I think the last thing that you should do, no matter who it is, I can't even say that because if it's like a fucking pedophile rapist, I'm like, shoot that guy. But like, not killing someone would be like the priority of the police officer, to like do everything but, you know what I mean? And so hopefully that's kind of like where this is going, where it's like, it's going to fix that issue of just like trigger happy police officers, you know? Like,
Word.
have a better, there's only one shot in a taser, but it's like you should be able to be a good enough shot where you don't have to, you know, like where you're like shaky. Like the training and like all that, like the people that are actually here to protect and serve are like there to actually do that.
Word. Yeah, so that's all. Like, obviously, George Floyd is still dead, and that is sad. But hopefully some good comes of this, and that, you know, this doesn't happen again. This is a lesson, and this is something that, you know, the court systems, the police, you know, the trainings, everyone involved can take from this, and we live in a better world because of this situation.
Yeah, word. But yeah, that's it for national news. On to local.
Yeah. So in our local news, so you were saying noodles in a box?
Yes, dude. Okay. I wanted to bring this up, not only for me, but for you and for the audience. There's a place I think it's called Noodle Box. And it's just amazing. And it's like I don't know if it's like a local Calgary thing or if it's like international, but I just went there the other day and it was so good. I got like this peanut, like, it was like kind of spicy peanut thing with like chow mein, and it was just so good.
So how much did it cost you?
It was like $13, but it comes in like a box. So it comes in the noodle box. So it comes in a box, and you look at it and you're like, damn, this is like, did I just get robbed? Because it's like a really small box. Then you put it on a plate and it like takes up like the whole plate and then some. Like, it's like really quality. And like,
So what's in the box? So noodles,
chow mein, or like it comes with like noodles or rice, like whatever you desire. There's a bunch of different types of noodles. And then it comes with like you kind of see the flavors of the dishes on like the thing. What's the thing? The board. There's like a board that shows you, or like if you're on Skip, it'll show you.
Yep.
But I'm gonna get it after this for sure. That or Vietnamese, I don't know. I'm struggling with what my favorite is at the moment because that vermicelli rice is so good. But and the hoisin sauce, my God. But the noodle box, if anyone is interested, it is just so good. I wish we were sponsored by them. I would take the sponsorship from Noodle Box.
Word, I mean, we can reach out. But yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'll probably try that. I love noodles. I like rice, definitely is my preference, but I'm down for some noodles every once in a while.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like, so you can put, like, what's chow mein?
Chow mein is like it's like the thin noodle. So have you ever had chow mein?
Noodles, you said nuts. Like, do you have meat in there?
Yeah, so you can get like your choice of meat. I got pork. I like the pork because it's fatty, so it's a little more flavorful. I also have chicken all the time and like beef, so I always just try to do different things. But they have like a variety of flavors, and it can come like, there's like a flavor section of like super spicy. And my buddy Colton, he got like the hottest thing that you could get on the menu, and then he had the lime, and he's like, anyone want my lime? And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And I squeezed the lime, and then I like licked my finger, and it was literally so spicy, dude. Like, it started hurting me, and it was off the lime, so it was just the sauce. But yeah, it was really good. You should actually just honestly get it today. Like, it's genuinely really good.
I'm down to try it. Another topic we had here for our local is crazy conspiracies driving people crazy. So yeah, I definitely feel like, in the fucking Trump era, I'm putting this on Trump, man. I feel like Trump normalized just going on a huge platform and saying something that's not true with no backing, but having the most conviction, and you have your loyal followers just being like, spreading little sub bullshits, you know what I mean? And now no one even knows the truth anymore.
I don't know what's real.
Yeah, so, yeah. Did you want to touch on this?
Sure. I just had the reason that I wanted to talk about this because yesterday, so I told you, my boss, I'm not going to say his name. He was talking, and he always has these. He's very conservative, so he has like very strong opinions about stuff. And dude, I remember this one time, this lady came in, and she was talking about this, and they were like really loud and obnoxiously loud talking about it. And I was just standing there, and I was listening. I was just listening to this lady talk, and I was like, I don't know. She just sounded like, honestly, she sounded kind of racist. So I was like, it made me kind of uncomfortable. But I hear this all the time, and I hear people discuss this stuff, and it's really frustrating because they talk about it with such conviction, where they believe it so much that they're convinced what they're saying is true, and they have this like, they put themselves on this pedestal of like, I know more than you. You're stupid for thinking that maybe there is a virus, and maybe we're all just trying to fucking figure it out, and we all want it to end, but like, there's just no option to do it other than how it's being done. I mean, there is options, like Florida's open right now, but they might just not be reporting cases because people are just like, fuck it. But like, I don't know. I think it's actually frustrating sometimes to listen.
Yeah. I think, we just wanted to bring that up, but I definitely blame Trump, but it's definitely not all Trump, but there's definitely, in the Trump era, it is not as normal now for someone and it's just, and the internet, right? I think last year spent lockdown, quarantine, the internet is a lot of people's source of information, and a lot of time people are just sharing bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, the information is not right. Like, the fact that they had to ban Donald Trump himself from all the socials because it was just getting so, like, come on, bro. Like, it was just getting so, like...
Please stop.
At one point, every tweet he had would have, like, a disclaimer at the bottom. Saying, like,
he's just like, Happy Independence Day, disclaimer.
This disclaimer of election fraud.
It's not even Independence Day.
Like... so... But it just became so normal, and there were people who were still retweeting that stuff, you know what I mean? And I would go and look, when Trump was still on Twitter, I would always go and look at his Twitter, and I would always be like, who are the bastards that are following this guy? And they're supporting, and sure enough, they're in the comments, it's like night, and it made me feel sad for America, because it's like night and day. There's this one person who is like, bro, there were no frauds, you know what I mean? There was no election fraud or whatever, probably some conservative, liberal commenting. And then there's someone, his fucking profile picture is the American flag, and guns and fucking eagles. What he's about, like...
his accent.
He's like, they stole that election from us, bro. It was
stolen. Don't even know how bad it's gotten. Yeah.
It was stolen. And it was like, someone else will comment, like, with the facts, like... He lost all the, 60 state trials, trying to do this. And someone was like, those trials were rigged.
Yeah.
Same person. I'm like,
If everything's a conspiracy, nothing is real.
You be reading this thing, and that guy will have other people backing him up, too. And I'm like, there's nothing you can say to this guy to convince him. There's nothing, because the facts don't mean anything to him.
I know. It's crazy.
I'm just like, bro, this is literally a person who has voting rights. I look at this page, he has like fucking 300 followers. He's sharing content. This is the world we live in. He's in my eyes and in a lot of people's eyes, that guy is delusional.
Yeah.
But he is a Trump supporter. He's someone that has, obviously, outside of social media in his life, he has a position of authority or whatever, and he's sharing his fucking disbelief, like you're talking about, with people, putting people down, being like, the fuck you mean there was, you know what I mean? Like, and this is just part of the thing. And a completely irrational person, who doesn't have good grounding or, some sense of self, can be convinced to believe it in a conspiracy by one of these fucking people, because that's just the game right now. So I don't know, it's good that we bring this up, man, because it is annoying. We just see it all the time. There's just so much bullshit going on.
I'm so tired of it.
I'm just like, yeah.
But like, to be honest, I was thinking about this the other day, last night actually. And I was thinking like, it is really easy to fall into like a trap of groupthink. It is really easy. I've been a victim of it, and you kind of just have to avoid any type. You kind of just have, in my opinion, it's better to just come up with your own. You look at all the information, you come up with your own conclusions. But like, I don't know. Some of these conspiracy theories are so like, they make the world seem so maniacal, and I just don't think people are smart enough to like do a lot of these things that they say. I think most people are just as dumb as the other people. I know that's a fucked up way to look at it, but just I see like the lizard people, and I was really into the Illuminati for a while, right? I went down I think I told you this. I went down this rabbit hole of like Illuminati. I was like, oh my God, they're sacrificing kids. Like, it was dark. And then I came to this conclusion where I hear Nas be like, there's no cult. And like, I hear these artists be like, just like denouncing it. And they still are like, that's what you would say if you're in the Illuminati, you're going to denounce it. But I don't know. It's just like, I'm personally not going to be in a position where I'm like constantly questioning. You should question everything, but constantly like, just being led by other people's opinions that might not be true. And it's a messed up mind frame to have, because then you have these thoughts of like, oh, I know more than most people. And then you're kind of looking at other people where you're like you don't know shit, you know? Did any of that make sense?
Yeah, it kind of does make sense.
Okay.
But I do know what you're saying. It's kind of like, yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I don't know how we can end this era of, you know, false information and conspiracy theories. You know, I really don't. Yeah,
because if like everyone's saying the other person is lying,
that's really exactly
what
that's
the fuck is real.
That's really what it is. I blame Trump because it's like, once you say something that's not true, as long as you entertain it long enough, that's enough to make people speculate. You know what I mean? Like, that was Trump's thing. He's like, every time you can count on him. You know what I mean? Even after they were like, yo, hang Mike Pence, he still, his first appearance after that, he was still like, yo, that election was stolen from us. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
that's your guy.
Like, but that just lets you know, like,
yeah.
And you have to kind of admire him for that, because it's like, yo, if this guy says something, till his last day, you could try to cut off his tongue. He's gonna tell you like, that is I'm dying with this lie. He
might truly believe it.
And that's part of being great, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, he says something, it might not be true, but it's like his delusion is like, this is the world I live in.
Yeah.
This is now it. There are people who and don't let anyone into the room that is not gonna agree with me. I feel like that's Trump's circle.
That's such a bad place to be.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's why the ship went down. But yeah. I really don't know what is the cause of this, but I feel like we're just trying to bring awareness to it, you know. And I feel like maybe bringing more awareness to it would help.
Yeah.
Because if more people are questioning, like, you know, this authority just comes out and says something tomorrow, and if more people have the mind to be like, yo, let me do my own research, let me just hop on the bandwagon because I'm already following him, type thing. You know, there's definitely, I think social media is part of it. You know, you're following this person on Twitter, he blatantly tweets out something that's incorrect. Mm-hmm. It's just, yo, that's someone I fuck with heavy. I'm just gonna retweet it. You're not even gonna fully read the thing. And now when someone combats you, like, why'd you retweet this shit? You not have to read it and like combat it. Like, yo.
You're this awkward. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
So yeah. This is definitely something that's plaguing our generation.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad we're bringing awareness to it. We are trying to end this pod pretty quick here, because we're trying to get into other things. It is 11:57.
Oh shit.
So let's hop into our artist motivation, and then you're gonna take us away with a conclusion.
Word.
So I usually read out of my Chinese book of idioms, but today I am just gonna read the Law 47 from the 48 Laws, which is, do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. The moment of victory is often the moment of greatest peril. In the heat of victory, arrogance and overconfidence can push you past the goal you had aimed for. And by going too far, you make more enemies than you defeat. So very straightforward, very straightforward. You know, I feel like it's definitely always wanting more. You should definitely always want more, but it is knowing. I remember the example in this book was that there was definitely like a Khan who was trying to rule all these lands, but there was this other guy who had more soldiers than him or whatever. And it was just kind of like the agreement was like, you can rule everything else, but don't go fuck with that guy.
Yeah.
But it was just like greed. And he even had an agreement with him from the jump.
Right.
But it was just like greed after he'd conquered all the land. He was like, nah, I'm going to go conquer this guy's land. And dude was just, he knew that he was prepared for that betrayal. So he already had like soldiers, warriors ready. And he just like took out that guy's army like quickly. And just like, literally he literally could have been the emperor of like the greatest land mass. Cause that guy didn't want that. He just wanted his section. But when you try to like, greed, when you try to go over that, you lost it all. So in terms of being an artist, just know, you know what I mean? Just don't stretch yourself thin, you know what I mean? That's really know where your resources belong, you know when it's time for you to get to the next milestone. You know, I feel like I definitely have struggled with that, where I'm always someone who's like, no, I want to get this now. But it's almost like, if I get this now, pace myself, get this later, you know what I mean? I'm in a better position in the long run to do things.
It's actually like, you can honestly relate that back to like what we're doing here, which is cool. Like the studio took longer than anticipated. You know, me and Shoshu were foolish, and we literally, every time we come in here, it was like, today's the day we finish everything. And then we have to like, things happen where it's going to be a longer process than you believe. But now we're here and we're filming. So it's like it did happen, right? So that is a really a good law to follow.
Word. Law number 47. Man, I'm probably gonna read that book again this summer because I definitely got a lot of game from it. I loved a lot of the stories. It just gave me a lot of insight, you know, into like human behavior, and I think that's really what the book is about, because he'll give a law and he'll give an example of, you know, some great person in history that, you know, utilized this law. And what it shows you from a bird's eye view is that human behavior never changes. You know what I mean? Like technology changes, the world we're living in changes, like the times will change, but like human behaviors, motivations, instincts, those things never change. And these laws, like if you're abiding by them, you can be a great human in any era. That's how I see it. So yeah, definitely a great book. This is from the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Definitely pick that shit up. Some fire shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to take us away with the conclusion?
Word. This has been episode 44.
Yes.
Episode 44 of Just Kicking It, presented by YYC Hip Hop Daily. Thank you guys for listening. If you want to follow us, you can follow me at The Only True Soy. Also follow the Lifted Ones collective here. That's at lifted_ones on Instagram. You could find my music on any streaming platform. Just look up On the Search for More Soy, and you will find the album, and then you can look at my discography. Anything you want to...
My artist name is Polo Show. Like I said earlier, I dropped my debut studio album this month. It's titled Determination. Please check that out. Run up those streams. Solid body of work. Follow me on social media. My social is Poliano_DA_Don. Follow the blog. That's YYC Hip Hop Daily.
Word. Thank you guys for listening. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified anytime we drop. There's going to be tons of content on this channel. Give us 5 stars, like the video, but peace out. Do you want to end with a handshake?
Word. Peace.